Hello, and welcome back to another dose of serenity. I've been around just long enough to remember a time before cell phones. I remember beepers, whatever those were, and then the massive car phones, and then the cell phones with the pull-out antennas. In my early 20s, the iPhone came out, and the rest is history. All the while, concurrently, the internet was taking off, first with AOL, welcome, you've got mail, and the dial up, then the broadband. The AOL universe had those chat rooms to get connected with people based on different interests. Ironically, with all this technology to connect, albeit digitally, I feel like the quality of our connections may have suffered. It happens sometimes when I get a call from a family member and I wonder, why couldn't they have just texted me? What's up with that? Along the same lines, in my first experiences, and many thereafter, my use of drugs and alcohol were mostly centered around social events. Looking back, I can see how most of those connections were really centered around our common goal of getting high or drunk. And while there's nothing inherently shameful about that, in fact, through most of those experiences, I would say there was a little bit of innocence. There came a point when it was no longer fun anymore. I don't think there's a time and a date, but there's that blurred, faded time when the obsessions and compulsions to use on my own were enough to pull me into slow isolation. There's an awesome TED Talk by Johann Hari, which ends, "The opposite of addiction is connection." This has become a guide point of my approach to recovery. And it's important to note that it's not how many friends we have, especially how many Facebook or Instagram followers, but it is the quality of those connections, those friendships. Who can I call if I'm not doing well? Who can I call to celebrate a milestone in my life? Who is willing to hold me accountable if I ask for their help? This pandemic has really uprooted a lot of distortions in our social fabric, which is an enormous opportunity for all of us. I realized during this time how easy it would be to isolate, if I wanted to, almost with permission. For someone who is struggling to be connected, this pandemic has created an easy stay-at-home free pass. So it is now, more than ever, that we must reach out and ask for help. Reach out and ask how another person is doing. Reach out and find a way to stay connected. I am grateful for online recovery meetings through Zoom because I've moved to Iowa from Atlanta to study for a board exam. And 1 year ago, these meetings would not be available. It would be harder to stay connected to my home group. Seeing that potential for connection in the recovery meetings, I've arranged weekly Zoom meetings with both sides of my family every Sunday, something we had never done before, because I've seen how important it is to nourish those bonds however possible. So what are you doing to stay connected today? Do you think technology has made it easier or harder to be connected? Do you have people that you can reach out to? Can people reach out to you? How can you nourish the connections you have? Until next time.